Hello everyone, how are you? I hope that you are okay. I'm Anna Oliveira, and today we are starting a new beginning, a new cycle, because I decided to create videos to talk a little bit about the tribes and the different 12 guardian families under this full moon. And today we have full moon in Cancer. It's a water element. So for me, it's like the invitation to start working with water and also start to talk about water tribe. So about the water tribe, I think it opens an invitation to connect with our ancestral memories, lost civilizations, and genetic memory that it's alive in our blood. But also, I know when you start to hear about these tribes, especially because for me it's very important to recognize that these tribes, they are related with the 4 elements. So still today we create rituals or we create altars where we honor these 4 elements, not just because these elements are part of the creation and how we can create reality, but for me, it's also a way to honor these very old tribes where our civilization starts to develop. So it's very important to recognize this connection, but also to connect with some stories on movies. And I know that now Avatar just released the Fire Tribe, right? And for me, it's very important for us to recognize different stories. Movies could be some legends, could be cartoons. They will talk about things that help us to remember. And also, I think it's very important to recognize that all of them are parts of a big puzzle, but they are also different language that have or that carry a kind of vibration, and maybe we will resonate more with some of them, and maybe with others we don't resonate at all, and everything it's okay, because I perceive all the books that I read, all the workshops, all the courses that I did, I perceive all of them as a kind of game where we can learn things and we can start also to realize what really makes sense for our truth or our reality, no? And when we speak about this kind of vibration and energy, for me it's also important to remember that water, it's liquid vibration. So this is also the reason that connected with the water tribe, we will find some keepers or some guardians, because I started some years ago to work with the awakening of the guardians. You're gonna listen to me speaking a lot about guardians or guardian energy. So these guardians will be also the keepers of codes, of these memories. Also, inside of water, we can find different types of geometry that are like codes that help us to, for example, remember about the origin. For example, connecting with the womb of creation. For example, to purify, to heal parts of us. So these codes normally, they are also connected not just with the water tribe, but also with the keepers. And in the next weeks, every time that we will have an important moon, I will talk a little bit about these guardian families, and also we can explore a little bit more about them, about the wisdom, okay? And of course, inside of these mysteries, inside of these codes, we will learn how important water is, not just to create life, but also to remember aspects of our life. And related also with water, related also with tribes, with old civilizations, I'm sure that you already heard something about Mu, about also Lemuria, also Atlantis. These civilizations, for me, they worked a lot with the water as source of life, but also as healing and also a communication channel. But I also feel that sometimes going deep into these studies of these civilizations doesn't mean too much if we forgot to look a little bit about our first temple. So all of us were conceived inside of a womb. This womb was full of salty water. And for me, it's very important to recognize that through that water, it was also where we start to connect with all the memory, okay? That's also this kind of ancestral memory inside of this water, that it's what brings us some codes, some genetic codes, also that bring us some patterns from our ancestors. And when we look to this first temple where we were created, we will also be able to connect with the memory of the tree of life. So all the genetic information of our ancestors are related with these waters, and this is also the reason that it's very easy for most of us connect with water, connect with keepers of the water, because in some way it's part of that origin, individual origin, okay? And of course, how can we connect deeply with, for example, memories of Atlantis or Lemuria? Okay, so sometimes that gate, the portal that help you to achieve more of that information, are also connected with the womb where you were conceived. And sometimes for people, could be a challenge to really cross that first information, that first feeling. Because don't forget, one of the big invitations or one of the biggest wisdoms from Water Tribe, it's help us to connect with our sensations. So all about feeling, all about emotions. And I think nowadays there's no schools of feelings, schools to express our emotions. In the old times, in the old civilizations, this was part, it was like temples dedicated to that, because through our emotions and expressing through our emotions, we can unblock a lot of the potential, no? And even looking to the water, you can perceive some examples where if you stop water to cross a point, she will try to find like a hole. Imagine that you have a wall made of rocks trying to cut a river in the middle. If there's like a teeny spot, the water will try to escape from there. And of course could create a tsunami, could create a very pleasure sensation, very calm lake, very nice beach, but the water can't be stopped. So every time that we try to stop our emotions, what happened is that something, some information, some potential, some energy, some vibration will get stuck inside of us. So for me, it's very important to recognize that water really teaches us how to flow. And this is also the reason that related to water, we can find different practice special in Qigong, you can find some exercise that really help you to work with flow. And this is also wisdom that we still use today that in some way are related with these tribes. And of course, to connect deeply or even in a funny way with all the teachings of this water tribe, we can also connect with the aquatic guardians, because for me, I perceive like the physical guardians as animals, plants, crystals, rocks, the water itself as keepers of information. So there are also some animals and some elements that for me, they work as guardians of information, of wisdom, okay? And today, I want to bring you 3 of them, because as you know, ocean, rivers, different types of water, lakes, we can bring a lot, an infinity of guardians to talk about aspects of the water. But today I will highlight 3 of them. One, it's the whales, and I think there's a lot of fans of whales. And for me, they work as guardians of ancient memory, okay? So to the vibration, to the chants of the whales, it's very easy for you to start to remember, because special, if you use in YouTube or even in Spotify, these recordings of the whales, the first sensation they will bring to us, it's really the sensation, that moment that we were inside of a womb. So every time that we are able and that we open space to connect with this deep womb of water, what happened, it's like if we are able to disconnect a little bit our ego and we just connect with the sensations, we can really awake memory of our origin. So whales are the guardians that maybe can help us more in this kind of connection, if you are trying to really connect with your origin or even with old aspects of your being. And they are amazing to guide us and to really be with us in that journey, okay? And for me, then I always need to bring the dolphins, because for me, dolphins, they are more or less like the guardians related with Sagittarius. They are not, but they are the guardians of joy. And for me, they are very important in all of the memory in the waters, because they really invite us to play with life. So we know that in the oceans, especially with people that lives like through the ocean, no, in boats, people that are fishing there, sometimes the life in the oceans, it's hard, no? And even if we look to all the memory that we still have through our waters related with Atlantis, we're going to perceive that the water remember us something that we lost. And this is also the same process that happened when we get born, because in some way we were inside of this temple with a 5-star service, and from nothing we get out to a different reality. So here in this reality, I need to use my body. There's no more water, so I can flow. So this sensation or this memory about separation, it's really present in water. And for me, dolphins really invite us to embrace all of that sensation, that illusion about getting lost, and just play with life, playing with all the changes, or flowing also with this journey that is life, okay? And to finish, I think I want to bring the sea serpent, because even we are finishing now the year of the serpent, and I think it's very important because in some way, serpent remind us about the importance of renewal. It's like it's so important to transform, to keep moving, to keep develop everything. It's like the movement itself. And of course, we like also to stop. We also like to enjoy, but that part, there's a different tribe that will work to teach us. So I think one of the teachings of this tribe, it's really help us to work with emotions, to recognize the flow of life, and also to bring us some purification every time that we don't allow ourselves to really flow, okay? Because when we create some kind of resistance, what happened, it's like we start to create a different reality. And in this different reality, we maybe need to purificate that kind of illusions, okay? And water, it's really amazing to bring us to this clean stage, okay? And emotional balance, it's also something that these keepers really offers to us, because to really navigate in this ocean of life, I think it's very important for us to bring this balance. Also to remember that maybe the joy that I'm feeling in this right moment will transform in sadness or in frustration in some minutes. And it's okay, because I can return always to this stage, no? Because I'm everything. So I think water also help us to connect with that memory that we are everything. Even if we get out of a womb, we are still part of that womb. And yeah, may we bring joy in all this path. And I perceive that this is like the new beginning. It's like a new journey for me. I'm not sure what I'm doing here, but anyway, it's like opening space to really share with you some concepts that we're gonna work in our Egypt trip now in April. So each month I will be here talking about one of the tribes, and also in each month I will talk about three of these 12 families, and talk a little bit more and going a little bit deeper maybe to each one of these families, to share with you basically part of the information that I was receiving in the last years, working with the guardians and working with this awakening of the guardians. So if you are receiving this video for the first time, welcome. And please let me know how you connect more with the water tribe. And yeah, see you in the next moon. Bye bye.